Good morning, NBT Nation. It's a Sunday morning pop up live here at NBT. What is NBT? It's no boring training. We exist to help leaders get better results, better business impact from the training inside their organizations. And we help the trainers themselves, whether you're a full time trainer like me, or whether you just get asked to perform a training and you don't even know what to do. Somebody taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, throw together a training," and you're lost. We help you too. So, leaders and trainers, that's what MBT is all about. You'll want to start a training program. You know your organization needs training. Maybe you're a small company, maybe you're a medium sized company. Right now, everything's sort of word of mouth, hand me down information. People join the company and they just sort of do some unstructured shadowing, or they just get thrown into doing work and people tell them what to do. And over time, they kind of figure it out. But you want an actual training program, you want actual defined training, and you want that to happen without a huge cost investment or without cumbersome, complicated, expensive approaches. So what do you do? How do you get that going? That, that, my friends, that MBT Nation is what we're going to unpack. We're going to start unpacking it right now. If you find this sort of information interesting and exciting, please, by all means, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment in the chat feed, and always visit noboringtraining.com for more tools, tips, and resources. Subscribe to the channel, all that kind of stuff. All right. A little bit of, excuse me, Creator Go juice there. In this episode, this NBT Live, we're going to unpack 5 easy ways to launch a training program virtually for free inside your organization. 5 easy approaches you can take. Number 1, a lot of times people struggle. They don't even know where to start. The first approach you can take to start lining out a training in your training program, break everything down into these 3 buckets: onboarding, job skills training, ongoing development. Literally go into a conference room on a whiteboard, get a piece of paper, onboarding, job skills development, ongoing development. Break everything into those 3 buckets. You can then start from there, really focusing in on those particular areas. So let's say right now your onboarding program is literally people join the company, they fill out some paperwork in HR, how to get their pay direct deposited and their tax forms and, all the compliance stuff, watch the safety video, whatever. And that's all you do. You can start to utilize that time a little better to maybe think about doing a session on company culture or company history. Maybe they go spend an hour with their hiring manager before they even go out on the floor to start doing anything. Or maybe it's just 15 minutes, whatever. And them and their hiring manager literally go in a room and sit down, and the hiring manager kind of outlines their expectations, really in a deep, comprehensive way. Maybe for job skills training, you just think about one specific thing they need to do in that bucket before they go out onto the floor, before they sit at their desk and start logging in. Just one thing. But it all starts with this idea of breaking everything down into onboarding, job skills training, ongoing development. By even just outlining those 3 particular areas, you can start building out trainings in those buckets. And oftentimes my experience is that's the hard part. People just don't know where to start. They don't know how to get going. And just that simple exercise, what do they need to know in onboarding? Maybe that's a morning. Maybe that's a half a day. Maybe it's a couple days. Maybe it's a week. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But by sitting down and really thinking about what goes into those, what would you want people to learn and know in the first couple days or the first morning or whatever, can be really powerful. And then you can do the same thing with job skills training. Really just start listing out what are all the things that they need to know for job skills training. and then doing the same for ongoing development. So once somebody's in the job role and they get a certain degree of comfort, what do you need them to learn to go to the next level to increase their efficiency, increase their output, increase their productivity? Maybe it's advanced training if it's an office-based job, what sort of certification and regulatory requirements, et cetera, et cetera. So the first step, really break everything down into those three buckets: onboarding, job skills training, ongoing development. That is a really easy way. And you can use a piece of paper, poster board, whiteboard, chalkboard, doesn't matter. Go out and draw it in the sand. But just by breaking things down, you can start to kind of segment, okay, even if you're just still verbally communicating this information, you can start to at least organize it so it's a little bit more effective. Number two, the second approach you can take that is a free and easy way to start lining out training programs. Once you think about onboarding, job skills training, ongoing development, get some index cards and start actually writing out what is it you want to tell people in those three buckets. So we talked about before using maybe a whiteboard or whatever, but literally take index cards and just write the topic on the front of the index card. And then, is it onboarding? Is it during job skills training? Is it during ongoing development? So, in other words, they come in, they go through onboarding, they kind of get to know the company, they get to know the culture, they get to understand the why of your organization, why business, what it is you're trying to do, the all of those sorts of things. What do you need them to learn in job skills training? Well, they need to know how to operate this piece of machinery. They need to know how to use our paperwork. They need to know how to use our forms. They need to know how to log things in and out of inventory. What if they have to go to the tool crib? If they're going to do an accounting report, how often do they need to file that? Where is the folder where that report lives? Blah, blah, blah. All of those things become separate index cards, just with one topic on the front of the index card. On the back of the index card, you could write out maybe 3 or 4 bullet points of what you would want to tell somebody relative to that topic. So topic on one side, 2 or 3 or 4 bullet points on the back side, and one card is one topic. Kind of see where I'm going with this? So you have in step 1, what is onboarding, job skills training, ongoing development. Step 2, write this out on index cards. You may find that that's all you need. Maybe you're a small company, it's 4 or 5 people total, and you don't need to have classroom sessions and PowerPoints and e-learning and video libraries and all this stuff. You just need to have an organized way of explaining all of this information. Now you have it all mapped out for you in 3 defined periods of time, and now you have all your topics on index cards. Right now, it's very analog for sure. It's a little bit antiquated, but it will help you to organize all of that information for yourself. And you now know that, oh, we have a roadmap, we have a curriculum, we got to get through all these cards, whether that takes us a couple days or whether that takes us a couple hours or a couple weeks or a couple months, doesn't matter. But now you have on those index cards a topic with on the backside the couple 3 4 bullet points of important information that you want to share with people, so that at least you're not counting on the hand me down information. Just go over there and go see Charlie and Charlie will tell you everything you need to know. Well, now you're trusting Charlie to explain everything and remember all the important details. And maybe Charlie's busy. Maybe Charlie's having a bad day. Maybe Charlie forgets something important. Now at least you have a roadmap with all these index cards with the important subjects, or the topics rather. And again, if you focus in on the onboarding period of time, maybe that's just a day-long session. Now you know you're hitting on the key notes of that onboarding. So you're really utilizing it far more effectively to help people feel comfortable in the organization, help them quickly understand the expectations, the why of the organization. Maybe it's job skills training. So now when they go out on the floor and they're going to spend time with Charlie, Charlie has 10 index cards of things they need to go through. So, and the index card has the important key topics on the back. And I can tell you, a pack of index cards ain't going to set you back that much. So don't worry about your budget. All right. Onboarding, job skills training, ongoing development. Define those three time frames, define what topics kind of fit under there, really kind of think about organizing things along those lines. That's number one. Number two, start putting topics on index cards, the topic on the front of the card, on the back, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points. And then you can put those index cards into those three buckets. Guess what? You're starting to line out a training program. And if that's all your organization needs is that, and you laminate the cards and they live in a box out on the floor, or whenever somebody new in the office joins in, they're sitting on somebody's desk, that might be all you need. Maybe things are a little bit more complicated than that, though, and you have some specific processes, you have some specific tasks, you have some specific ways of doing things in your organization. Now, a really great way to start lining out training is to go and document your processes and document the work instructions for those processes. So, when you think about the different tasks that people need to complete in your firm, go and look at those tasks, define the processes, define, and then document, write out the work instructions. Don't even worry about the training piece yet. Don't worry about a training program. Don't worry about any of that. Just focus on here's the 57 different things somebody would do. Well, then you should have 57 different work instructions. And are they accurate? Do they document the process? Are they clear? Are they kept up to date? Can somebody walk in off the street, read that instruction, and then go do the thing? Really invest some time and energy in just documenting your processes and your work instructions. The training can flow very naturally from that. But if you have very specific processes and work tasks that need to be completed in particular ways, focus on that first. It costs you exactly $0 to do that. And you need to have all of that stuff documented. The more you rely on hand me down, word of mouth information that people are just out on the floor telling everybody, oh, this is the way we do it, you're going to end up with people doing things 5,000 different ways. It's going to be inaccurate. There's going to be sort of that sort of tribal knowledge. Well, this is the way we've always done it. And it might not be the best way, the most efficient way, the most accurate way. So if you want to really line out training programs, start by defining your processes and you're documenting your work instructions. More to come on that. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So why am I saying this? Because guess what? Once you document those work instructions, your training can flow from that. Simple ways you can document the work instructions: open a Word document and start typing. It doesn't have to be complicated. I mean, you can manually write it out on a piece of paper, but document it in a Word doc. If you want to get a little fancier, take some screenshots and then add that to your Word document. You want to get even fancier, there's a product called Scribe, Scribe. I am not affiliated with them in any way, but it makes it super quick and easy to use screenshots and screen recordings to create work instructions. Scribe, Scribe. Again, I'm not connected with them in any way, but it's a really cool product and it can really speed things up. So whether you handwrite your instructions or you go all the way to Scribe, doesn't matter. Document your work instructions. Throw them in a folder. Start at work instruction 1. Teach somebody that. Go to work instruction 2. Teach them that. Go to work instruction. You see where I'm going with this? Your training will automatically start flowing from your work instructions. So if we go back to point number 1, you have a nice little onboarding, maybe it's a couple, 3 hours in the morning. Then they go to job skills training. That job skills training becomes going through the work tasks, starting to learn how to do the work, which is augmented by these work instructions. So now they're learning the actual step by step work instructions. So now Charlie, when they get a new hire, they go to their little thing of index cards. They pull out the first topic. Oh, yeah, I got to tell you how to do this. Don't forget this, this, and this, which are the bullet points on the back. And now let's show you the work instructions of exactly how to do the work task. Pull that out. Here's how to do it step by step. Now you do it. And they do it step by step. Maybe there's some screen grabs and screenshots on there. Maybe it's Charlie's in the office and Charlie's showing people how to fill out the TPS report. Again, they pull out their index card. I got to tell you about TPS reports. Don't forget these couple three things, which is on the back of those index cards. Let me show you exactly how to do the TPS report. Here's an instruction. Give it a try. Let me know if you have questions. No questions. Got it. Good. Done. But that training flows from your work instructions. So if you want to have great training programs, document your processes, have clear work instructions, and work instructions can be as basic as handwritten or all the way up to something super fancy. Either way, you got to have them documented, and you don't have to be super duper fancy. Scribe, again, not affiliated with them, but they are a great product, not very expensive at all. And even not, if you just manually hand write them with a Word doc and some screenshots, you can build a really nice set of work instructions. All right. That's your third way to start building out a almost free training program. Certainly totally easy ways to do it. What do you think, in BT Nation? Leave me some comments in the chat field. Let me know what you're thinking. And even if you're watching this on replay, leave me a comment. Let me know. Could this work inside your organization? All righty. Where are we at? Oh, yeah. Number 4. I knocked stuff all over my desk here. Number 4. 5 totally easy, almost free ways to start up a training program. And this is perfect if you're a small company, medium-sized company. Maybe you're a large autonomous team and you're kind of offsite. You're away from HQ, or you're remote from HQ, and you've got a lot of autonomy, but you don't really have any defined training programs. Here are 5 great ways. Very easy, almost free to get them started. Number 4, videos. Talked about this before on the channel. NBT Nation knows I'm a huge fan of videos, but building out a video library is easier and cost effective than ever before. Literally, you can take your mobile device, record a video, upload it to a shared Google Drive. All of those work tasks that you have documented in your work instructions, you can now do demonstrations of how to complete that work. And you go to the video library in the shared drive. The title of the video is how to do fill in the blank. It's a 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute video, and boom, you show people exactly how to do the thing. Or you go in and you have videos of common mistakes when you blah, 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 mistakes to avoid when doing blah, blah, blah. How to set up this machine and what it looks like when it's set up correctly. TPS reports, how to get them done quickly and more accurately, common mistakes, things to avoid, stuff that Mr. or Miss Boss person is going to be grumpy about if you don't do. All of those could be individual videos that live in your little video library. And again, with a mobile device and a shared Google Drive, you can make a really nice video library. You could do the same thing inside of OneDrive if you are a Microsoft shop. Again, if you're a Microsoft shop, you can make it maybe a little fancier with the use of OneNote. So you could use the, I think they call them tabs and workbooks and tabs or whatever. They do tabs inside of a notebook, and you could use color coding and topics of those tabs to create a really nice library. Click here for machine setup, click here for product inspection, click here for assembly and tool changes, click here for whatever. Click here for TPS reports, click here for the L572 report, click here for the W5XYZ report, click here. You get the idea. But you go to OneNote, you click in there, every file folder or every file tab rather has the video, maybe a couple little notes. You could take your index cards, and instead of having them on paper index cards, the OneNote file tabs, you have topic, couple 3 bullet points, video, work instruction, all in one neat place. See where I'm going with all this? See how easy this is to set up and put together, and it does not have to be cumbersome, costly, or complicated. All right. So video libraries, huge fan of that. You could keep it as simple as just a shared folder, a Google Drive, mobile videos. You don't have to have a big fancy setup like this. Now, maybe over time you do have a studio set up and you make the videos nicer and you brand them and you get a fancy camera and a fancy mic and all that. You don't need all that jazz. Talk into your mobile device, upload it to a shared folder, put a put a title on it that makes sense, is easy to search, done. So you could have onboarding, job skills training, ongoing development as 3 buckets of trainings. Use index cards to line out the topics and talking points on the back of the cards. Start documenting your processes and then writing out actual work instructions of how to complete the work. Then augment that with a video library, maybe even tie it all together inside of OneNote. At bare minimum, you could have shared folders. So for each topic is an individual folder. When you open it up, there's a document that is, here is the topic and the talking points. There's another document for work instruction, maybe a couple, 2, 3 videos. Bing, bang, boom. And that leads me, my friends, to point number 5 of 5 easy, super easy, and almost free ways to launch a training program inside your organization. It really is as simple as the use of Google Drive or shared folders. Just like I got done saying, take all of that information that you put together and you set up shared folders. Name of folder is however you want to line it out, however organizational structure makes sense to your company. You could do it as onboarding, and then underneath onboarding is 2 or 3 folders that are, important paperwork, expectations, policies, the why of our organization, history, important lessons before you get started. And each one of those folders has a mix of work instructions, videos, documents, whatever. Then you go to job skills training, same exact thing, ongoing development, same exact thing, using the shared folders. Like, why overcomplicate it? Now, you can take those shared folders and then from there graduate into actual training sessions, live classroom sessions. Some of those topics, some of those folders, some of those videos may require further explanation. They may require a deeper dive. That's totally fine. To do that, you then say, okay, that topic over there needs a classroom, needs somebody to explain this further. Then you can start to think through, well, is that as simple as the shift lead goes and takes the new hire and just shows them the tasks and then gives them the work instruction? They do the task and, yep, got it. Or is it more complicated where maybe you have 2 or 3 new hires at one time? The shift lead takes them over, explains the task, shows them the task, really spend some time with them, and then people go and do the task following the work instruction, and then the shift lead goes and reviews and coaches, gives a little feedback. Yeah, we would call that a training session. You can do that for those specific topics. You can look through all those file folders and say, hey, you know what? That one right there needs a little further explanation. It's not quite as simple as just watching a quick video and being done with it. Maybe you have a customer service team And the way information is added to the system is pretty straightforward. But there's some real downstream effects that can happen if you don't put the information in the system correctly. It can cause a lot of second order, third order problems, cause a lot of issues, delays, customer problems, whatever. Again, here is the shared folder. Read these documents, watch these videos, but then you bring the 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 new customer service people into a classroom session, and your senior customer service person or your customer service trainer person or some designated person goes and then does an actual instructor-led training session. But it all starts with having all that information organized in the shared folders, and every shared folder is a different topic with some work instructions, some explainer videos, a couple extra documents, whatever. So there you have it, NBT Nation. 5 totally easy, almost free ways to launch training programs inside your organization. Now, depending on the size and complexity of your organization, you might just need to line out step number 1, onboarding, job skills training, ongoing development, and it's just one-on-one. Maybe it's you're a small company and you're the boss, and just by organizing it into what do I need to tell people on day 1, what do I need to teach people to do the job, and what do I need to keep them getting better? Maybe just by organizing that, then when you're riding around in the truck together, you talk through it with them. I mean, it could be that simple. Maybe you need to go to all the way to the other end of the spectrum where you do all 5 of these steps. And then from there, you pick the ones that become actual classroom traditional training sessions. Maybe it's somewhere in between, but you can at least use this framework to start lining out very effective training, very effective, far more effective training than just hoping that people learn by osmosis. Definitely way more helpful training than just expecting shadowing to work, because pro tip, it never works. Complete garbage. It's far more effective than just hoping that whoever is next to them in the cube will tell them how to do stuff. It at least starts to document, to formalize a training program inside your organization. And I hope by listening here for the last half hour or so, you've seen it ain't hard. It ain't complicated. It doesn't take this huge investment. It takes a little bit of time, maybe some office supplies, maybe 1 or 2 little subscriptions, but it doesn't take big fancy investments of into software. It doesn't take huge investments of cash. A little bit of time, and you can start to line this out. So, what do you think, NBT Nation? Would these 5 approaches work inside your organization? They can work independently, and they can certainly work in concert, all building up to each other. So, there you go. Let me know what you think. Leave me some comments. Would this work in your organization? What is your organization using that I haven't even touched on here? What are some other totally free, almost or totally easy, almost free ways of doing things? Let me know. Leave me some comments down below. Otherwise, that's all I got, NBT Nation. As always, you can find a lot more resources at noboringtraining.com, free resources and be more for trainers themselves and the leaders who want to use training to drive real business outcomes. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully, everyone has a great rest of your weekend.